Thank you for watching Virginia This Morning on CBS 6. If you're looking for a new dish using beef, you might, excuse me, I'm getting all excited about it. You might want to get your pen and paper handy. Our great friend of the show, health blogger Erica Schlick, wants you to add this recipe to your collection. Take a look.
Picanha, or top sirloin cap, is one of my favorite cuts of meat, and it's very, very underrated. Now, what makes this meat so special is this cap of fat that's going to be on the top that makes your meat super juicy and very flavorful. Now, since it does have so much fat, you really want to make sure you're using a grass-fed cut of meat so that the fat profile is much healthier than if you're using a grain-fed. Now, I'm going to show you how to prepare it, and it's actually very simple, but where the magic comes with this is how we're going to cut this and grill this in a bit. So to get started, I've gone ahead and put a hatch mark on my meat, and you just want to use a paring knife, and you don't want to cut into the meat itself, but you're going to go ahead and do a cross hatch pattern just to slit the fat, and then we're going to take a little bit of sea salt and we're going to go ahead and start massaging that and rubbing that into the fat crevices that we've got here. And you're going to just use about a teaspoon of sea salt for this, and we've got 2 teaspoons here, and we're going to go ahead and put the rest of it on the actual cut of the meat. So once we've gone ahead and rubbed in the fat, you want to use a very sharp knife, and we're going to cut this into slices. And you want to cut this against the grain because we're going to be putting this on some skewer sticks and grilling it, and then that way it's going to make your meat very tender when we slice into it and enjoy it. So each cut should be about 1.5, maybe 2 inches thick. And we'll go ahead and slice that and set that aside there. And you should get about maybe 2 to 4, depending on the size of your picanha cut. And so looks like we're gonna get about 4 out of this one. And once we've gone ahead and cut that, we are gonna use our metal skewers. Now, you can get some with 2 prongs, or you can do this one with 1 prong. You're gonna wanna turn it so that it's kind of like a U shape like this, and use our skewers to go ahead and pierce through it. And I like to use 2 just because it helps to hold the meat a little bit better, especially when you're grilling it. And you really, really wanna make sure that, the meat side is gonna be able to hit that grill and really, really grill nicely on there. So we'll go ahead and do that with both of our slices here. And you should be able to get maybe 2 to 3 on a skewer. Since we have 4, I'm gonna go ahead and do 4 of them evenly and do 2 and 2 on these. All right, so there is 1 ready to go, and now we're gonna go ahead and skewer this one. Now, the thin piece at the end might be a little small to try to do the U shape, but we're just gonna do the best we can, try to get it skewered on there. There we go, and that is it. Now, we're gonna go ahead and use that remaining sea salt that we have, and a little bit of olive oil. And I like to use a pastry brush for this. And you just want to brush a little bit of oil onto the meat itself, sprinkle a little bit more of that remaining sea salt we have, and we'll go ahead and repeat that on the other side. And then we're going to take these out to our grill and get these cooking. All right, now it is time to grill these bad boys. And so we've got our grill heated up on high. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the temperature down as soon as we put these on. And let's go ahead and place them on our grill. Now, you're gonna wanna cook these for about 20 to 25 minutes, but I like to flip them over every 5 minutes or so. And you wanna cook them until your internal temperature reaches about 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which is gonna get you that perfect medium rare. And while our picanha is cooking, I love to eat it with a side of chimichurri, and this is a go-to for all of my grilled meats. So I'm gonna do a very simplified version of my usual go-to chimichurri, and we're just gonna be doing this one with parsley. So I have about 1/2 cup, you can also use up to about 3/4 of a cup of olive oil, and I have 1 bunch of parsley that's been chopped in my food processor. That makes things much easier. But we're gonna start with our oil. So I have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, I have 1 teaspoon of salt, and we're just gonna use a fork to give that a quick little mix here, get the spices combined, and now we're just gonna add our fresh parsley. And you can kind of gauge how much olive oil you're gonna want. You want it to be more of kind of an oily sauce, so I always start with about 1/2 cup, and then you can always increase from there. So this is about the right consistency that I like. It's mostly absorbed by the parsley, but you still have a little oil to give that flavor on the meat as well. So our sauce is ready to go. Now we'll go back and check on the grill and get our meats so we can enjoy this lunch. And our picanha is now off the grill, cooked to a perfect 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And I'm gonna go ahead and let it rest for a little bit. And you let it rest for about 5 minutes, and then you can go ahead and start to shave it off, the skewer sticks. And I like to serve it with some roasted potatoes. You can do a nice side salad with it. And we've already got our chimichurri sauce made, so I'm gonna go ahead and do just a tiny little taste test here. Make sure our meat turned out good. So we'll just shave a little piece off here. I'm gonna put a little bit of the chimichurri on it. Let's see how this tastes. So good. It is grilled to perfection. You're gonna love this recipe. It's gonna be your new go-to steak, just like it became mine a couple years ago. And you can find this recipe on my blog, thetrailtohealth.com, and you can find other healthy and delicious recipes in my cookbook, Wandering Palate, which is available on my website and on Amazon as well.